What's up, guys? This is Mike Loris with more professional Dota 2 games. Now, this one was played on November 9th, and the last Star Series finals were in October, so this one's going to be a little bit more recent. This is going to be from the Absolute Arena King of the Hill. So we are going to have a best of 5 on our hands between EG and MYM. Now, EG, they are the current Kings of the Hill. They have already taken down PB, and Skone's Elite / Pulse, and now this is going to be their third people to take out, or person to take out. I believe the way it works is that if they win this, then they get 300, or if I don't know if it's like by game or whatever, but whatever. They could win like I guess 3 times as much money. This description isn't really clear, but really no one really cares about prize pool, do they? So we're going to have EG and MYM, 2 teams that I haven't had the pleasure of casting for quite some time. I do not know if this is the point in time in the game where people are starting to realize that Sven and Magnus are really good. It looks like it is not, because EG, they're going to open up with the Darkseer, followed straight after with a Dragon Knight. Now, Darkseer, there isn't really much to say about him, and EG gonna go for some double dragon business, fire everywhere. Darkseer isn't really that much of a surprise. He's been stable pretty much since he's came out. Dragon Knight and Lina, however, 2 heroes that you're never ever going to see banned. Really, if you're gonna pick a support hero, you're not gonna ban out a Lina, and you're not gonna ban out a Dragon Knight with the intention of banning out a hard carry. Or most of the time you won't. As far as the bans are concerned, Batrider, Chen, Wisp, and Rubik. Kind of wonky force fields, but seeing as though this is the more recent game than I have ever casted before, I am not exactly sure how everything is shaping up as far as the banning metagame is concerned. But on MYM side, we are going to see Jakiro, Bounty Hunter, and Queen of Pain looking to be very, very ordinary heroes as far as everything is concerned. Jakiro as support, Bounty Hunter as a hard lane, and Queen of Pain as a mid lane. And you have to excuse me just a little bit. I have the grand finals of NASL playing. Just a little bit. Hero's doing some crazy micro stuff. So go Hero, go Liquid. EG going to ban out the Undying as well as the TA. Interesting. MYM banning out the CK and as well as the Enigma. The CK kind of makes a little bit of sense. I believe Jo has played Dragon Knight before in the solo mid position, so wanting to eliminate that CK and Lina lane as well as the jungle does make a lot of sense. But EG continuing to ban out mid lane heroes. Queen of Pain, you would think, is going to go mid, right? And you think Bounty Hunter is going to solo bot, and that's 2 of your solo lanes. Ah, looks like Sven is starting to get popular, okay? Good to know. And those are 2 of your lanes, so you need like a jungle, something like a Chen or Enchantress or Enigma, and then you need your primary carry. But EG gonna ban out some different heroes. We'll see if that turns out to bite them in the ass. I don't really know if MYM were aiming to pick up TA, Nightstalker, well, possibly Undying. Undying does make a lot of sense in a tri-lane with the Jakiro, as well as the whoever primary farmer it is going to be. EG, they are going to 4th pick up the Tidehunter, so they're going to get a little bit more support on the board. Does look like they're shaping up for a very solid 4-1 strategy, with the Dragon Knight being the one who is the primary farmer of the team. Although that does mean that they are going to be looking for a solo mid hero. Could still be that Invoker, who has been hasn't really been changed much, but has been altering as far as how popular. As far as his popularity is concerned. Going after Queen of Pain as Invoker should be pretty stable. And Hero, you better not lose this game. God damn it, Hero. Doesn't look good for him. Whatever. MYM, let's see how they're going to respond to this. They still do not know what EG's mid lane situation is going to be. I don't even think EG have a good idea yet. They could still pick up another quote-unquote mid lane hero, however. They also could run a dual lane. Dragon Knight Lina could work. You have a lot of conal nukes in that area. That'll be pretty cool to see. But against the Queen of Pain, I don't know if they'll be able to pressure her back enough. If you land Dragon Tail, you could kill the Queen of Pain easy, easy. But Dragon Tail is melee and Queen of Pain has blink, so good luck landing that Dragon Tail unless you have a haste or an invisibility or something like that. But MYM, they're just going to take their sweet time, and we'll decide what they want to pick. I guess while we are waiting for them to get their pick out, I'm just going to go over a little bit of the status quo of my channel. Now with the Star Series over, and well, I'm continuing to cast this tournament. It's not something I'm just going to give up, because they're kind of coming out with semi-regular games. I don't know, it's kind of been a while. But yeah, I need some other project, and I don't really know if getting the defense or Star Series 4 is going to be worth it, because if I'm going to do like comprehensive coverage of anything, I kind of want to wait until a new tournament is out. So I think I'm just going to play some FP VODs and figure out what you guys actually want to see from my channel, what kind of games, and then as soon as a new ticket comes out, if it looks good, then I will go ahead and buy that up and then bring you guys some more coverage. And EG, they're going to go for Tidehunter as well as, they already picked up Tidehunter Shadow Fiend as their last pick. And now, I want to say it's Shadow Fiend mid, although Shadow Fiend is also commonly played on the safe lane, then you can run a dual lane mid. So you do have a little bit of flexibility there, but another very high damaging hero, kind of holding through for the Dragon Knight to get bigger later on. Shadow Fiend has a lot more upfront damage in the early mid stage of the game with the Necromastery, as well as those raises, whereas Dragon Knight, yes, he has the Breathe Fire, but really it's not until level 16 where Dragon Knight gets to be that really dangerous right clicker. MYM's fourth pick is going to be the Earthshaker, so it is looking to be at tri-lane at least, with the a dual lane at least, I'm sorry, with the Earthshaker and Jakiro. Now the question is who's going to be their primary carry, because right now they don't have one. They have Bounty Hunter who scales decently into the late game if you get the right amount of creep kills and purchase the right items. Queen of Pain could also build a little bit of damage, but MYM, they still lack that hero who's going to get really big and just, you know, take it head on with Dragon Knight as well as the Shadow Fiend.
10 seconds remaining.
They do have several options. Something like a Void might not be that bad, although try to counter off some of EG's team fight, because God, EG, they have a lot of team fight. It's going to be the Lifestealer. A very smart choice at that. EG very, very reliant on the magic damage that they have. Shadow Fiend is the only one who really doesn't care all that much about the magic immunity, but still, the raises, the Requiem, can be blocked by that Feast, and Lifestealer is a pretty good counter to the Dragon Knight as well as the Tidehunter, as well as the Darkseer, really. All of them are pretty tanky heroes, and that Feast is just going to cut through them that much more. So that is going to be the final lineup. Will it be a tri-lane? I want to say yes. The killed tri-lane against the Darkseer not going to work all that well, unless the Nino could get some miraculous Fissures. It's really all going to hinge on the Fissure. If the Fissure lands and it walls off the Darkseer, then that means the Ice Path is also going to land. That means the Lifestealer could walk in, get one or two right clicks in. Don't expect him to do all that much damage in those situations, because, well, he's going to have to deal with Surge on the other end. And Liquid Hero, God, you lost against Violet one more time. I don't dislike Violet, I just really like Liquid, because Liquid's awesome. On the MYM side, we have Atsi playing that Jakiro. Calculus heading up to the top lane as Queen of Pain. Don't know if he's going to stay there. And Nino is going to be playing the Earthshaker with Balsam on that Lifestealer and Kojkra? I actually probably should have looked up how to pronounce this guy's name. He's going to be playing the Bounty Hunter in the bot lane. He's going to be going up against B-Diz, supporting as Lina, followed by Melk, also supporting as the Tidehunter, and Jayo, decked out in the sweetest Dragon Knight gear ever. Doesn't even show up, it's so sweet. Look, I don't know how you expect to see out of that thing. Doesn't look like it even has eye holes. But that is going to be a very, very lethal tri-lane on the bottom lane. Fear is going to be handling the Shadow Fiend over in the mid lane. That leaves Demon on the hard lane to go up against what looks like a tri-lane coming out from MYM. On this tri-lane versus tri-lane's hard versus hard on the top and bottom. I do believe that it will favor EG slightly. Now, Darkseer is one of, if not the best hard lane hero, but Bounty Hunter is not too bad himself. Problem for him is that there are Sentry Wards on B-Diz, and a single Gush will line up for a Light Strike Array. That's pretty much guaranteed. If you miss the Light Strike Array when the enemy is Gush, then you seriously need to re-evaluate your playstyle with Lina. And then, once that happens, Dragon Knight will have more than enough time to walk up and land that Dragon Tail. And all the while, Tidehunter is attacking, Lina's attacking, and the Bounty Hunter is in a general state of unhappiness. So that is going to be a very deadly lane there. And EG, well, they did see the fact that Lina picked up that invisibility rune, so they're going to drop the Sentry Ward right in the middle lane. It's ultimately going to be wasted. I don't think it's going to have really any impact for the entire game. We do see the Bounty Hunter in the bot lane trying to hide out a little bit in the trees as Malk as well as B-Diz just working around the jungle. Malk going to get that pull off as Jayo does recognize the fact that he has a free lane. He's going to make full use of that and right click to his heart's content. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Balsam doing the exact same thing. Both these heroes free farming. I do think that Lifestealer uses the gold a little bit better than the Dragon Knight, who, as a carry hero, is a little bit more EXP reliant. If you don't have much gold as a Dragon Knight, it doesn't really matter all that much, because once you hit that blue dragon form, you're going to be doing so much damage in an AoE plus slowing. So that's pretty substantial. Even if it's not the most upfront damage, the damage is constant and the damage will slow, so you get that additional utility effect out of your hero. Plus the fact that they have Fear to kind of pick up the slack just a little bit as far as the damage is concerned. EG, they're going to be looking to be pretty good in the late stage of the game. And what the hell happened to Cheo? Tanking creeps much? Wow. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to take any damage in this lane because the bounty hunter he's hiding, and you don't really get much done when you're hiding in the trees like that. Aside from reaching some experience. Looks like Balsam is taking some damage, but this damage is pretty much justified. He does have an Ion Shell on the other end to work with. That Darkseer sending those Ion Shells down the lane. It's going to be such a pain. Demon is going to take in a little bit of an Ice Path, but Nino, don't think he's actually going to throw a Fissure. And even if they do, they cannot kill this Darkseer. So Darkseer is going to walk out of here. He does not have any experience, however, but the Bounty Hunter, on the other hand, with the hiding in the trees kind of trick that he's been pulling, is level 2. Not the hugest level, but still, he has a lot more than Demon. The constant pressure of Atsi as well as the Nino is really forcing him back. Let's look at how this mid lane is doing. We do have Shadow Fiend level 4 versus Calculus level 3. Shadow Fiend is actually doing pretty well in this lane. I would honestly expect the Queen of Pain to have a little bit of an advantage just because she could hold down the lane from a lot lower level, a lot earlier in the game. And then once you hold down the Shadow Fiend, if you prevent him from getting those Necromastery soul charges, then well, his last hitting is very, very miserable because his base damage isn't that high without the plus damage from his passive. You may now see the Bounty Hunter leaving the bottom lane just a little bit, trying to do a little bit of creep jacking, preventing the double pull from Malk. And so far, Malk and Beaters haven't been doing all that much. That was actually not a double pull. That was... oh, that was. Okay. Thought he was just regular pulling, not pulling the creep wave up. Beaters and Malk haven't really been doing all that much in this lane. Jo has received a good deal of protection, but that wasn't really any active protection. It's really more of a passive protection kind of thing. Looks like EG looking to make that up with a push onto the bot lane very, very early. And these heroes, not exactly what I would call pushing heroes. They can nuke down a creep wave. They have Anchor Smash. They do have Anchor Smash, as well as a decent amount of AoE. They do have the Ring of Basilius turned on, so they're looking to put some hurt on this tower. They know that the Bounty Hunter on the other end cannot do anything about this. If he tries, he dies. Simple as that. Beaters, let's see if he's going to lay down a Sentry Ward because the tower is taking a lot of damage. Dragon Slave to fly as Malk is on the front lines with his Kraken Shell, denying a lot of that damage from the creeps, and the tower is slowly getting dropped down. Will the Bounty Hunter try to do this? He's going to take a gush, and Beat is going to land that LSA perfectly. There's the Dragon Slave, there's the Dragon Tail, Breathe Fire, and Beat does pick up the first blood on the bottom lane versus the Bounty Hunter. With the Bounty Hunter now dead, there is no chance for this tower to be denied, and it is going to drop. A simple Ring of Basilius push is all you need, and Jo gets the last right click on the tower. 1,200 gold in his pocket. Could go for very early power treads, or just save up and rush a straight BKB. Now against the other end, a BKB will be very, very good to pick up as far as his damage is concerned. But we'll see what he wants to do, because right now he's sitting at a good deal of gold. They could even keep going. Bounty Hunter taking another LSA as Beat is just harassing him back with impunity. So already a tower dropped for EG. Sad to see only 2 pennant wearers for EG, but I honestly didn't know that this game was being played, that this set was being played. I don't know if I just missed it or anything, but so far this tournament has had really inconsistent dates as far as when they're actually playing. I think that TI2 had a lot to do with that, because they all the teams, or EG obviously went to TI2, and yes, so we can't really play the games without the Kings of the Hill, can you? So that is, I feel like a little bit of a shortcoming for this tournament. They don't really have a set date, and if they do, no one really knows about it, so it's kind of an underground tournament. You guys probably haven't heard about this tournament yet. But either way, hell, maybe you guys haven't seen these games, so it's always a pleasure bringing you fresh games, even though they may be a little bit new. We now have Fear in a little bit of trouble. Nino as well as Atsi tried to get a smoke gank off on the Darkseer. Nothing actually came of that. Darkseer has the level 4 mark, Calculus can go right in as the Bounty Hunter has arrived. Fear taking a good chunk of damage, is going to get hit by the Fisher, and an instant annihilation with the Sonic Wave as Fear drops. The 4-man gank from MYM. Well, they did get the kill, but that's a lot of time invested from the top lane, from the bot lane. Mid lane, yeah, he was going to be here anyway, but Bounty Hunter, he's missing out on a lot of possible experience now that there are not as many people on this bottom lane. Lina arriving with the invisibility rune as soon as the previous sentry ward has been timed out. I don't think MYM actually know about this. They're going to see no rune on the bot lane, but they don't have any vision up here, so they don't know if the rune was taken or if it was on the top lane. We now are going to see Lina wander around just a little bit. Balsam, he's farming really, really well. 35 for 13, kind of what you would expect. Dragonite, 41 for 10, however, has that much more, plus a tower in his pocket. And Shadow Fiend, 35 for 7. Balsam, not getting enough farm. He's going to just straight up rush the armlet. Not sure how much I like that. I mean, armlet's a fantastic item, especially with the recent changes to it when you have the 2-second toggle time. So it's not that I dislike it because it's a bad item. I dislike it because he really needs a lot of gold this game. Lifestealer isn't the type of hero who has a huge impact in the... Well, actually, his impact is generally in the mid, so I guess MYM are going to try to make a very huge mid-game power play. But still, I feel like with the farm he's getting, he could have easily gone for a Hand of Midas, and that would have been a lot more beneficial for him in the long run. I guess they just doesn't want to contest the late game. Dragonite is not the best counter to the Lifestealer, and Shadow Fiend could do the damage, but he can't exactly take it. Lifestealer could have tried to wrestle out the late game from them, but instead he's going to go for the mid game item, the cheaper build, the more convenient items to pick up rather than the Hand of Midas, which doesn't really offer you that much. Let's see if Bounty Hunter is capable of getting this deny. He is not, as Jo gets a second tower. Did use that previous gold from the first tower as well as his last hits to buy himself power treads. Now we have drum as well as a wand. This Dragonite is absolutely stacked. 8 minutes drum is impressive enough, but with power treads plus a wand on top of that, ooh, this is one wealthy Dragonite. He is going to be a large problem for MYM. The Dragonite doesn't take that much physical damage. He's going to have to worry about the nuke damage coming from MYM because that is pretty substantial. But Dragonite, he has a lot of gold. He doesn't exactly have much experience, which is what Dragonites do like to have. You can see Bounty Hunter level 6, Dragonite also level 6. But considering how much time the Dragonite actually spent in a tri-lane, he's not actually doing that bad for himself. The support heroes, let's take a look at them. Level 4 and level 5 versus level 3, and that is not the Jakiro, level 3 and level 3. So these support heroes from EG definitely getting a little bit more in this game. Now Jakiro doesn't really need a whole bunch of levels to be effective. Malk, once he hits that level 6 mark, he'll be very powerful. Beaters will scale up quite a lot more as well, but I don't know. Nino and Atsi aren't exactly in a position to get any levels. They're not pulling that much, whereas Malk and Beaters, look at this. They're still pulling this the bottom wave. They're still getting those last hits, and they're still slowly leveling up, whereas Nino, he's just sitting here. I don't even think he's in range to get any lane experience. He's been at level 3 for quite a while. So he is struggling just a little bit, and Demon, he's not having the best time in this lane, but he's level 6, so what he's not getting in gold, he's definitely making up for in experience. You can see Dragonite on the other end is also level 6, so the levels are flowing for EG. MYM having some difficulty in actually accruing those levels. Mid lane's going to be a little bit of a dual. Calculus, oh, just barely blinking out of that final raise. That would have been a kill if Fear got that off. He's just going to wait for that Shadow Strike to take over, restore his health with a bottle. Looks like Calculus, he wants to go again. He does have support coming in, has still half of a haste rune left with 4 in the mid lane. Bounty Hunter could look for a track kill onto Fear. Let's see if Fear is going to see this coming. Fisher's going to land, but block off the Bounty Hunter. There goes the tracker guard, a Sonic Wave as Fear turns around. Going to go toe-to-toe with Calculus. It's going to be close. Calculus is going to drop to Fear, who's going to live at 130 HP. The Shadow Strike should not be enough to take him down. Now the Bounty Hunter is going to try to chase him down. Fear going to turn around with some raises. Ravage as well, as the Shadow Fiend just barely picks up that Bounty Hunter kill, using the sick charges to make sure he stays alive from the Shadow Strike, and Fear is going to walk home very much alive. Ravage was burned, but hey, you protected your Shadow Fiend. You got the kill on the Bounty Hunter. What more could you ask for? It only hit one, but that one it hit was so very vital in this game. Now Shadow Fiend is going to have that much more gold, going to pick up some power treads of his own, already working towards a straight BKB. And Dragon Knight wouldn't be surprised to see him working towards a BKB either, as we do see a pause. So now we can take this opportunity to go over a little bit of what the math shows. 5,000 gold advantage in favor of EG with 2 towers down. That is not surprising. Signing bonus arise. That is not surprising at all. That gold advantage is the experience advantage, not as much, but still in favor of EG, having a 2-kill lead, having more experience on those support heroes who have been pulling and getting golden experience from those pulls a whole lot more. The last hits, 007, which is Jo, right behind Fear as far as the first place goes. Balsam and Calculus, they're the primary farmers for MYM so far, but really they don't have all that much. You can see the bot lanes have pretty much been washes, except for the fact that the Bounty Hunter has died twice with 1 assist, and Demon sitting at a 0-0-0 score, both 19-0, which is, I guess, the cool thing to do if you're in a hard lane. But EG getting the towers, getting the last hits, they're going to be in a pretty good position. Let's just skip through this just a little bit, because everyone loves to see a grayed out screen. It's really the best part of Dota. I wish more of it was just gray and not moving. Here's the resume, and well, MYM, they're going to have to make something happen. They do have a pretty decent mid-game team. The problem is they aren't really in the mid-game. Jakiro's level 3, 11 minutes into the game, and although I would say that we're starting to breach the mid-game as far as time goes, as far as levels go, they're still in the early game, a good deal of them. See Beat is level 7, Malk level 6, and this Lina could put out a lot of hurt. If she catches the Jakiro, LSA, Dragon Slave, Blade, and Jakiro is toast. So we have a lot of dragons in this game, but the dragons are not allied in the least. Beat is going to do exactly that, as I said. I did not see in this game before. Balsam teleporting in. He does have that armlet. He's going to go toe-to-toe with Jo, but there are 4 EG heroes here, and Balsam is going to have to run. He's going to drop. The Bounty Hunter does lay down a couple of tracks, but no one's actually dying from this one. Now stunned from the Dragon's Tail. One more X Smash is going to do him in. Beat is going to get killed by Calculus, who's going to blink forward past the Fisher. It looks like she will, the Queen of Pain, that is, will be able to survive. Fear and Malk not chasing with Jo. But that's still a very, very good fight for EG. Losing the Lina, but Lina already dumped off her entire payload, spent all of her gold. Yeah, all of her gold was reliable by the time she actually died. That is exactly what you have to do. Really, as any hero, make sure that you get as much of your unreliable gold spent as you can before you die. And we do have EG taking a pretty substantial lead in this game. Jo, unfortunately, has not killed off any of the heroes that he's been involved in. 3 assists on him. Let's see how the kills are actually distributed. 3 kills on the Shadow Fiend, 2 on the Lina, 1 on the Tidehunter even. Shadow Fiend's going to be dishing, almost has his BKB 13 minutes into the game. Absolutely insane farm from Fear. The mid lane versus Queen of Pain, even when he got solo killed by that Queen of Pain. Just the fact that he has that much farm really shows a lot about the Shadow Fiend. He was stacking and pulling this camp quite a few times, and then 1, 2, 3 QWE if that's how he has them bound. But raise, and you have what, a good 600 at least golds extra that you wouldn't have otherwise. So Fear's been managing his gold extremely well, and now he does have a BKB. He's not going to be scared of He's not going to be scared of this Queen of Pain. He's not going to be scared of the Jakiro or the Earthshaker at all. He's going to wade right in and possibly get that Requiem of Souls, which he did not cast in that last fight. So EG's team fight was pretty good, that last one. They pretty much crushed MYM, but they still held on to a lot of their ultimates. And Fear, sitting in the ice path, not getting stunned. Dragon Knight does not give any... he doesn't care what Ads has to say. It's like, oh, you have 2 heads? That's cute. That's cute. The ice apparently doesn't affect him. Oh, Beat is going to look for a kill onto this Bounty Hunter. Sentry Ward is going to drop. Can he land this LSA? Beat is hunting by himself. LSA going to miss. And the Bounty Hunter should be able to get out of here. Beat is going to get initiated upon reverse. But now his LSA is back up. Beat is could turn around and get this kill. LSA going to hit. Dragon Slave. Laguna Blade. One more right click. Not going to be enough with koth going to turn it around with the Janata. Just barely killing off Beat is using those stick charges to keep himself alive. Very well played by this Bounty Hunter. Razor thin, but you know what? He got the kill, and that's all that matters. I apologize deeply to you, sir. I do not know how to pronounce your name, and I did not do my research or my homework beforehand, so my apologies to both you and the viewers. But I'm sure, yeah, I could look it up, but I'm not exactly gonna. Let's actually take a look at. Could I call this person anything else? Nope, nope, it's not. It's very difficult. We do have 5 heroes on the EG side. Even though they do have the late game, and the MYM should be the ones doing this sort of thing, they're just going to go for it. They have Laguna Blade up in 20. Ravage is up. Jo does have that dragon form, the poison form on that dragon form, so the tower is going to drop extremely quickly. And with Malk on the front lines, with Surge to initiate, MYM, I don't know if they could actually go in on this. Earthshaker still does not have his Echo Slam, and this tower is going to drop. This time Shadow Fiend is the one to get that last right click. And EG, are they going to keep going? Do they want to breach high ground? At least this is to force the Lifestealer to use that teleportation scroll and get back here. If they line up, they could be very, very easy prey to this Queen of Pain. We do have EG slowly starting to get tracked up, so if MYM take a good fight, they're going to get a lot of extra gold. Level 1 track still. So is going to mean a lot of income for MYM that pretty much they need. We now have Ice Paths flying, but Jo with that dragon form is standing his ground. Now taking some pretty good damage from the Queen of Pain. Balsam in the middle of nowhere. He's going to dodge the LSA with his rage. Now we do have a vacuum plus a Requiem of Souls doing huge damage to the Earthshaker. Lifestealer is going to end up picking off the Lina, trying to get the Tidehunter as well, but he is Surge. Balsam now stun locked, gonna get bursted down by the Breathe Fire from the Dragonite. Calculus is not done with this fight. He was going to blink forward for that Tidehunter. So far 2 for 2, but EG losing the 2 support there, more than okay with that happening, whereas MYM, they have lost their primary hard carry in the Lifestealer, getting a little bit out of position, and he really paid the price for that one. EG without those 2 heroes are going to fall back. Tidehunter was unable to get a good Ravage opportunity off, but he is building a 4-staff. He is very, very, very close to being complete with that item. Once he gets that, he's not going to have to worry about positioning because he does have Surge, he does have a 4-staff, or he will have a 4-staff. Then he could 4-staff himself right in, get a good Ravage, and hopefully clean up. But that fight, I don't think EG exactly expected for MYM to do that. The Lifestealer was over here. Like, why would you be over there? Lifestealer just barely escapes with his life. If that LSA came like 2 milliseconds earlier, 1 second earlier, then that Lifestealer would have been a lot deader a lot earlier. Everything would have been burned from the Lina, and then, well, Balsam wouldn't have been too happy about that, and I guess his team wouldn't have been too happy about that either. It's like, dude, what are you doing there? I actually don't know where MYM hail from. I'm guessing it's Europe. I actually have no idea. Who cares? Who cares? I know that EG, a lot of them are from the United States, or North America, let's say. Oh, and do you know what? Okay, here we go. Huge, huge idea right here. Let's say EG win this, right? EG beat MYM in this best of 5. Then EG, next time this plays, they could go up against Team Liquid, and then we have an EG-TL rivalry match in Dota. How fucking awesome would that be? Pardon my French. But that would be... Oh my god, I would lose it. I would cast the crap out of that game. Please, Samo, if I should actually try to let him know. Get TL on here. Get them. We want them. We want EG versus TL, and I would love to cast that. I would love to cast that. But enough about that. That does hinge upon EG winning this set against MYM. So far, they're looking pretty good in Game 1. They're not going to let up. They do have an Aegis now in their pocket. It is on the Shadow Fiend. Sentry Ward's dropping down. The Bounty Hunters does let his presence be known. Now, not exactly with the most HP, but he's still a very tanky hero. He's got to watch out for this magic damage from the Queen of Pain, especially. With Malk on the front lines, going to look for a Ravage. The vacuum to not quite set up yet. Also on the front lines, going to get an Open Wounds onto Fear. Good Ice Path holding off Fear, denying a lot of that DPS. Fear is going to turn off his BKB and just go to town on the Lifestealer tower. Is going to drop. Malk, is he going to look for a Ravage now? No, they're just going to go straight for the Raxes. 19 minutes in. Such aggressive play from EG. Ice Path once again going to fly. Malk on the front lines. Got to watch out for his health pool. Does have Magic Stick charges. Should not be locked down. But here comes the Bounty Hunter with the next side. There's the initiation with the vacuum plus a Ravage. Everyone from MYM can take huge amount of damage, but no, the damage is going the other way now. EG instantly losing 2-3 with the Aegis as well. Beautiful Sonic Wave, beautiful Macro Pyre from MYM. And now EG, the Shadow Fiend has to run. Calculus on the chase. Beatus does have mana, so has the Laguna Blade. Calculus, you do not want to go up here, man. That will be the death of you. So it does turn out to be a trade slightly in favor of MYM as far as the kills are concerned, but the Raxes are gone. So EG, they drop 3, they drop the Aegis on the Shadow Fiend, but Shadow Fiend does survive, so one of their hardest damage dealers, who has quite a bit of gold, is going to be able to spend all of that gold. Dragon Knight died. Yeah, it's not exactly an optimum solution for him, but we had a lot of reliable gold. Most of the gold that he lost was unreliable. It wasn't that much either. So that fight went very, very well for EG. Took the tower, took the Raxes, and then they took at least an even fight. So they're looking really good this game. MYM using Raxes at such an early point in the game. It's so difficult to handle these mega creeps when they start barreling down their mid lane. You can see the difference in damage: 44 versus 23. And with more health on the melee creeps to boot, this mid lane is going to be such a pain for MYM to deal with. And they do have a good amount of AoE. Problem is, Lifestealer doesn't really have the damage that he needs quite yet. Lifestealer, if he had his hand on Midas, I'm pretty sure he would have had the armlet as well, because right now his item progression has been almost none. Got the armlet extremely quickly, but then that has pretty much been it. Whereas Shadow Fiend, already with a Manta-style BKB power treads, he's looking pretty good in this game. And Dragon Knight with a BKB of his own, now packing a gem, so the Bounty Hunter is no longer going to be able to rely on any of that invisibility to keep him safe, as well as the wards and fire going back and forth. EG, they're just going to power through this tier 2 top tower. There's nothing that MYM could do about that. They couldn't defend their tier 3 in the mid. There's no chance they're going to be willing or able to defend a tier 2 on the top. Although it does look like they're mobilizing just a little bit for that. They need the Bounty Hunter. The fortification is not up. The Dragon Form not even popped. They're just going to go to town on this tower. We do have Balsam on the sidelines looking for initiation. Ice Path going to fly, hitting onto Jo and Fear, doing a little bit of damage there, but really Jo, with that regeneration from his Dragon Blood, plus the fact that, well, it just was a level 2 Ice Path, level 3 Ice Path. No, it was actually level 4 Ice Path. Not doing all that much damage regardless, so Ravage is still up from the Tide Hunter, or it's up again, rather. Jo getting a long-range Dragon Tail onto the Nino. He is going to drop. No Echo Slam, no fishes this game, and that is pretty much 100% of MYM stuns. All the stuns except for this Ice Path. So now they have a severe lack of CC, not like it would have helped them in the first place. BKBs are up, and Balsam taking a good amount of damage. Got to be careful for Jo. If you get too close to this guy, you are going to take a tail to the face. But he's just working on the tower. Wall of Replica being dropped down. Where's the Vacuum Demon? Stunned by the Ice Path. He's going to take a Sonic Wave, but the mech does pop off. Calculus in a very wrong position. Coach Run now is on the run, going to take a Gush, and Balsam fighting toe-to-toe with Fear, but everyone from EG staying alive, standing their ground, barely even moving. They're just standing and hitting these buildings. Now Balsam going to walk a little bit too close. Laguna Blade. Lina wants that kill. He's going to steal that off. Television coming in. That is going to be the Lifestealer once again. Going to go straight for Fear. Does have Magic Style. He's going to pop it off and just kill Balsam outright. Fear standing in the Macro Pyre. Not exactly where you want to be. He does have a Shadow Strike on him, and he's going to take down unless he teleports out. No, he's going to die. But everyone else from MYM, the Dragon has already died. Bought back as well. Nino returned to this fight. Laid down his ultimate. It's not going to be enough because Jo still so very healthy. Calculus going to just barely dodge out that LSA. Jo, Melk, and B-Diz are still in very, very good fighting condition. One more Taparoo on this tower is going to mean the top melee Raxes are destroyed. In the meantime, the mid-range Raxes have also been destroyed. EG crushing through MYM, and we did have instant buybacks from the Darkseer, from the Shadow Fiend, and they're going to work on the bot lane and mid lane. And I don't think that MYM could actually withstand any more of this. EG just with such perfect timing pushes. They got the BKB on the Shadow Fiend, got the level 1 Dragon Form in the Dragon Knight, which they have for quite a while, but they made full use of this Poison Dragon Form. And a little bit of an unfortunate mistake from Nino, getting a little bit too close, maybe forgetting that the Dragon Tail range is extended when the Dragon Knight is in Dragon Form. And he dropped his life before anything could actually happen. There was a lot of dead time where the Echo Slam wasn't coming out, the Fissures weren't coming out, and even though the BKBs are up from EG, that's still a lot of wasted potential there. Last objective for EG is going to be the bot lane, and Fear finding a double damage rune. Are you kidding me right now, Fear? The damage is going to flow like a river. Oh my lord, it's going to be so painful for MYM. I do not like MYM's chances in this game. They just didn't get enough farm. Fear got too much farm mid, and MYM, their supports of Earthshaker and Jakiro played passively the entire game and really didn't get anything done. Calc is going to run headlong into Fear, and you really don't want to be there, Calc, because he just got messed up by Fear, who doesn't even have the double damage rune popped. Queen of Pain dies instantly, and she's going to buy back. She doesn't have a BKB this time, but she had a BKB last time as well. But that was just Shadow Fiend's right clicks. And Shadow Fiend didn't pop Manta-Style, didn't pop BKB, didn't pop the double damage rune. And, well, they could wait here all day because top lane's going to push, mid lane's going to push, as is right now. Jo on the front lines, now with the Hyperstone. Manta-Style gets popped. Fear with the double damage rune as well. Has a BKB if things get hairy, as well as a bottle in his inventory. I think it was passed to him from an ally. Doesn't matter, the tower is now fortified. They're going to fall right on back. And EG, they're just going to wait very, very patiently. Top lane, slowly working their way forward. Mid lane, slowly working its way forward as well. And EG, they do not have to initiate this at all. They could wait until the top Raxes fall, or they could just go straight in for Balsam. The BKB just get popped. The Sonic Wave burned onto Jo and Fear, instantly popping off both their ultimates. There goes the huge Requiem of Souls. Balsam take no damage from that because of the Fear of Ravage as well. Not hitting that much, but that's because everyone from MYM has already fallen back. They've already pretty much given up on this fight. Cactus taking Laguna Blade. He's going to drop. Balsam's going to try to take Vitas down before he dies, but it is going to be a little bit too late for MYM. It is now 22 for 10 as the GG has been called. So that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. EG taking game 1 out of the best of 5 between them and MYM from the Absolute Arena. King of the Hill popping off some smoke in celebration. Earthshaker trying to get a pick off onto Jo, but I don't think that's going to actually work. Dragon Blood is probably going to keep him alive enough from that. So we're going to be moving on to game 2, guys. Let's see if MYM can make a comeback in game 2, or if EG are going to continue this very impressive display of power in the next game. So we're just going to speed through this just a little bit. And that's going to be it. If you enjoyed this cast, then by all means subscribe. If you didn't, tell me what I did wrong in the comments below and tell me what you guys want to see in the future. Other than that, thank you for supporting me thus far. I know I got a couple of new subscribers from the recent Reddit thread I posted up, which was pretty cool. Good amount of link karma from that, which is, no one really gives a shit about link karma. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. I'll see you guys next time. GG.